seen a lot of videos on YouTube of the Silverados and the Sierras of the 80s and 90s. I haven't seen any Suburbans, so I thought I'd post this up. Just kind of as a little snapshot of some of the things I've done with my truck. Maybe give some other Suburban owners out there looking for some ideas, something to do. Probably get under the hood, show you a little bit about what I've done there. You can see on the front, a couple of light bars, simple stuff from Blazer, out of AutoZone or Amazon, wherever. The fog lights underneath, the same thing. If you look at that air dam, if you're got a good enough eye, you realize that's something that comes straight out of the 90s from when PIAA was doing their projection / fog light kits. So it's a pretty good score to have that air dam for the truck. You look up on the hood, you can see I've got a couple of Genrite hood vents, and those are actually functional. Let a little bit of heat out. 454 big block does create a little bit. You might be wondering exactly what it is I've done to the hood itself. That's Line-X. When I first bought the truck, if you go look at the slideshows I've got posted on my channel, you'll see that it used to be white. And anybody that has these trucks realizes these trucks have a bad problem with paint delaminating from the primer and coming off. When I bought the truck a couple of years back, it looked like it had a good paint job. It did not. It pulled up in about a month or two. The hood started peeling, then the roof started peeling, then the back doors started peeling. And then it started peeling down the side later after I did the Line-X. And it comes out, when I looked at the cost of it, the Line-X was actually a little bit cheaper than having a new spray job done. And I'm not always that big of a fan of a new spray job anyway. Something up here in high altitude is just going to get fried again anyhow. So I did the Line-X, cost about $1,000 to have it done here in Line-X of Murray, down on State Street. And after they got done with it, it started peeling down the sides. So I went and took just some Rust-Oleum gloss gray and did that down the sides. You need to know how to do that. Go ahead and look up all kinds of things on YouTube. People will show you how to do that, which that's a good point to make, because I'm not about to do a bunch of how-to videos. There are plenty of those that exist. For instance, if you want to see what it was I coated the bumpers and the fender flares and the rocker panels with, go see Mossman381, his channel. He shows you how to use the duplicolor to do that. Obviously I've got 35-inch BF Goodrich all-terrains on a set of BlackRock steels, 16 inches. I did take that duplicolor and I got rid of everything that was chrome on the truck, the bumper, those stupid 3-inch side steps that I don't like. Tinted the front windows a little bit. Eventually, that red stripe I should say too is actually just more Rust-Oleum, just basic red off the shelf from Home Depot. Eventually, when the funds permit, I will take the entire truck and Line-X the whole thing, because this has been amazing at how it's held up through a couple of winters and how it actually can take a beating. And then, you know, little scratches like this one, I bet I could go down there and have them redo that because it has a lifetime warranty. What I want to do though, let's jump in. Get a peek there of the fact that I've done all the interior bulbs with blue LEDs. The dash is done with blue LEDs. You can find other people that show you how to do that as well. I think Bad Z71 is another good channel. He did that. There you can see, yeah, I've got functional hood vents on this truck. Again, those Genrites. Look up close, you can see that I've used GT mat underneath the basic stock. What is that? It's kind of a fiberglass, whatever, sound and heat dampening. So all of that together does a really good job at dampening down the engine noise. 454 is not a quiet engine. Just basic stock 454. If you're looking closely, you might see I've got a lot of MSD parts, you know, the K&N airbox and cold air intake. And if you're looking even closer, you can see some of the electrical stuff is really what I've gotten into with this truck. I went and switched it over to dual batteries, replaced all of the main lines with Temco 2-gauge welding lead, which works pretty well for car batteries, from the alternator to a couple of 250 amp in A&L fuses from Install Gear. Use the military battery terminals that you can get on Amazon. I like these ones a lot more solid connection, and it has these nice rubber covers. Optima red tops. I figure if I got 2 red tops, I don't really need the deep cycle. Here's a little trick that you might actually be catching on to. When it comes to relays, I found a nice little neat way to do this. is, do I have one on the workbench over there? I'll post this in a second, but there are these nice little relay, what do you want to call them? They're like, well, not like this from Painless. I use the ones, this one's from Painless is the 4 headlight conversion, and I've done that. This right here is going to run off-road lights, so the ones you saw on the front of the truck, plus these two are the fans. Look in here, I am not running the stock fan setup. I'm running a Dorman fan that's basically for a light model Silverado or Suburban, and that basically solved all my cooling problems. I went from overheating when it's only 95 out to being able to maintain 190 when it's 110 out in Vegas. So a little bit of a job to do. Got to trim the shroud down a little bit, but it generally goes from edge to edge. Use 12 gauge wiring for all of that. Got the pigtails that go to it, so it basically makes it a factory install. It is really tight, but it works. Replaced the valve covers, painted the valve covers, or the valve cover gaskets, painted the valve cover, got it red. There's a little bit MSD peeking out right there. And obviously I took that 2 gauge cable and replaced everything on back into here to your stock factory fuse and relay, because there are 2 accessory blocks that I use off of this. And what I like is these 2 right here. What I like is they're actually controlled by these fuses here. And that way you've got a big giant A&L fuse going on there, so you can draw all your power for all your accessories. So by using those 2 posts, I can throw all my power forward up to that relay center that I've installed. You can see I either use waterproof fuse holders or actual fusible link. I kind of prefer fusible link. That seems to last longer and is more resistant. I'm sure you can find places on YouTube that'll show you how to do those as well. Again, I'm not much for how-tos. Just know that it's out there and it's better. So yeah, I found on the workbench what these are. These little base plates made by Hella. You can find them in these nice little boxes. These little base plates will give you a 5-pin, or you can use 4 pins if you want. So you do all of your wires up through there. You're going to need the brass connectors by UXL, as whose I've been using. And then once you've got all your wiring done, you fill all the backside of that with silicone. Use a whole lot of silicone dielectric grease on this side of things. You notice you can screw it into your firewall wherever you're at. You notice also these slots, they all slip together and connect together, so you can make a base of 4 of them. Should I want more accessories, I'll end up doing the same thing over there on that battery. But yeah, it's a nice little part. You basically have to cut right here and then right here and then bend that all over with a hammer, and it fits in there nice and neat right there where the factory gave you just enough room to put something in. You can see a lot of the other wires down underneath coming up to it. Can't really see it, but you can see it's here, that I've got that 2 gauge welding cable in black going down to all the grounds. So the engine's ground to the frame, both of these batteries are ground both to the frame and to the body. So everything's got that 2 gauge wire going everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of what I do for accessories. Like I said, the only 2, these ones right here, that go directly to the battery, and the grounds go directly to the battery as well, are for the fan. Very interesting thing I picked up, and I forget whose video showed me this one with these trucks, but up underneath, you see this slot right in here is where that stupid chimer usually goes. Well, guess what? That right there is an ignition hot source. So that goes up into right here where I've got a nice giant big red switch. So that's ignition hot for my twin fans. And these 2 are for my lights. They're all tied into the lighting circuit as well, so they don't activate on their own. So if you turn the ignition off, actually the blazers come on with the high beams. The other one comes on with the markers, so if I have the markers on, I can turn fog lights on. And that's the way that goes. Yeah, there's a little peek at the blue that I've done on the backstage. Made my own speaker pods, and they're right there. Not totally happy with them, but they'll work. I went and took the all the cloth panels here and dyed them black on all of the doors because they were trashed when I got the truck and not really any way to get those stains out, so I thought I'd just give it a little bit of two-tone. Not much else to really show in the truck. The amp itself is under the passenger side seat, so I've got the 2 captain's chairs with a stock center console. Upcoming in the future, I'll probably get another set of these captain's chairs and put them in the second row, just because it make it more easy to get to the back. Otherwise, that's a pretty good short video on my truck. A lot of what I've done. There'll be more to follow, I'm sure. I think I'm going to take some inspiration from Bad Z71 and just do little updates as I do things. I'm probably not going to show what I've done when I'm doing it, because I'm just not patient enough to stop my work and do things like Mossman 381 or some of the other guys out there. I mean, there's a ton working on their Silverados. I'm definitely no Doug Bernards with Soundman. I'm no Steve Mead with my car audio stuff. I'm definitely not market car audio fabrication, but I definitely watch all of those guys, and I appreciate what they put out on the web because it helps me do what I want to do with my truck and make my truck better. You know, I was thinking, the other things you see up there, how I've got the aluminum tape and the GT mat. I've actually done the GT mat inner and outer skins on all the doors. Haven't done the rear cargo area yet. Haven't done the floors yet. I'll probably pull out that nasty carpet that's in there and put some rubberized mat from LMC truck. I use the Duplicolor stuff on the bow tie, on the grill. Use Rust-Oleum gray on the grill itself. And I'm probably going to follow Bad Z71's example and start using aux beams, LED lights everywhere. Yeah, it's like any truck. It's a work in progress, and it's something you never really stop doing. Of course, what truck would be worth it if it wasn't? So that's it. That's my 1998 3/4 ton Suburban. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.